Merry Christmas, Grinners. Traditionally, we like to do something special for the holidays, and this year, that's no different. As I sit down with the good brothers for a chat about, well, I don't know, whatever comes up. Along the way, we'll also check in with some of your favourite Grinners, putting a bow on a truly memorable year for Late Night Grin.
And smoke, the heaters broke, the door just blew away. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a beat-up Chevrolet.
Hey, Joe.
Happy holidays.
Joe grew his mullet. Joe grew his mullet back for the holidays.
This mullet allegation is out of control, I gotta say. It's out of control.
What's really funny is you look like you have a mullet again. I don't understand.
We're hair guys because we don't have hair, so we notice hair more than other people.
Maybe
is it the back of the chair?
The back of the chair or whatever shadows back there.
The feathered rear of your chair.
The feathered rear.
There's something to it. I go, man, I don't remember Joe. I mean, I don't remember Joe or Joel having a mullet when I saw him in England. And I thought, fuck, maybe Gallows was so drunk that I felt drunk in England. That's I forgot Joe or Joel had a mullet.
That's what it takes to
Merry Christmas,
things.
fellas.
Merry Christmas.
We're off to an electric start as expected.
Oh, my goodness.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's a big New Year for you fellows. How about New Year, but it's a big New Year. January 1st.
It's always a huge New Year. January 1st, Nippon Budokan Hall.
Yeah.
Tokyo, Japan. It's going to be awesome. We've been just talking just horrific shit to our friend.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, last night, all night long. Good stuff. And he sat in on our live, and Chad never let him in.
So what would be your guys' experience at Budokan? Because New Japan run it a couple times on your last go-round,
They
right?
did.
Yeah.
They did, but it wasn't a regular stop. And, I mean, he can answer that better than me. But I think I was in there maybe twice or three times, and then we went for WWE.
Yeah, so
way back when? For WWE? When would that have been, I wonder?
That would have had to have been way back before. I don't particular.
WWE, right?
I don't remember going to Budokan unless
it would have been just Sumo Hall, I think, right? When you
were
there.
only Sumo Hall.
Sumo Hall.
Except when we went back in 22, we did a Budokan during the G1 there.
Yeah.
In 2022, but that's like Noah's big, hot spot. That New Japan stayed out of, but New Japan and Noah kind of weirdly work together nowadays, or they always kind of have, and then they're an on again, off again relationship like us and WWE.
Are we off right now? Just to be clear,
we're off.
It could be on though when this airs.
Well, we're completely off, but by the time this airs, it could be on, Joe.
Yeah,
that's the one constant about this business. Everything changes, so just wait.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've learned, most certainly. But it is cool. I got to talk to you guys briefly about it. But anytime you shoot an angle at Korakuen Hall, that's as good as it gets, right?
Very, very, very cool. It was a lot of fun. Shocked the wrestling world. A little ship jump in there. Why not?
It's as good as it gets in Korakuen. One of my first Korakuens ever would have been in 2008. I don't know if anybody remembers. If anyone is around my age or probably a little younger, whatever it was, my first Korakuen ever.
21?
Yes, I am. My first Korakuen ever was in March, and it was a tour, the New Japan Cup tour, where, but in the middle of that, or maybe it was towards the end, whatever it was, the championship match in March of 2008 was in a sold-out Korakuen with Shinsuke versus Tanahashi.
Damn.
And the place was fucking rocking, and I was a young boy that month, and I was on a knee watching this going, wow, this crowd is insane. And now imagine Shinsuke versus, and that's when they were both hot, but New Japan was kind of attempting that was kind of the rebuild-ish era. And imagine Shinsuke and Tana in a as a main event in a Korakuen. Now that's That's 2 Tokyo Domes main event, if you ask me, you know?
Yeah.
So I remember the building shaking in Korakuen Hall. If you've been inside of it, and when there's a hot crowd, it feels like the place is shaking. And the TV cameras don't really do it justice, like the way the speakers are set up. I've always watched it back and go, oh man, it just doesn't come off the way it really truly feels inside. So if you think it sounds like the crowd's rocking inside of Tokyo, inside the Korakuen Hall, then you got to double it and magnify it, because it's actually much louder and
it's
much
unique
shakier.
too. The way it's built, right? Because it's like just a wall of sound. There's that one huge stand. It's amazing building. I'd love to go one day. It's just incredible.
You have
building.
to go. You need to go for sure.
It's less than 2,000. It's a less than 2,000 seater. I think you might be able to get 2,000 in if it's on a good day, right?
The upstairs, yeah.
But the thing is about it is right there in the heart of Tokyo, and so it's always a big show. It's never just a throwaway show. Like whoever has a show at Korakuen, even New Japan, if the end of the tour is if the end of the tour is supposed to be a big pay-per-view, if you stop in at Korakuen somewhere, it's booked as a big show with a big main event. And so it's always a big show inside Tokyo like that. But yeah, it was badass to be running out in Korakuen again and beating the shit out of this new kid who I didn't even know. I'm just keeping it real. I haven't followed Japanese wrestling, and especially not Pro Wrestling Noah in a decade. And this is their new guy.
Main event angle. Yeah. It's a big deal. Absolutely.
And his 10th anniversary, but like the fortitude on this kid. He worked the opener, Joe or Joel.
Yeah.
He does a multi-man match in the middle. There's a match in between, and then he goes out and does an hour Broadway. And then he gets the shit kicked out of him by us.
He sure did.
And Joe, we got the cover of the magazine. I got the cover of the magazine, Joe.
Yes.
Which is, if you know anything about pro wrestling, that's huge. The most important thing of all. The cover of the magazine is the one seat, dude. That's as cool as it gets, right?
And I'll say this:
Rolling Stone. It's elusive.
Yeah. And the thing is, I just saw the magazine when I was in Japan, whenever we were just there, and it's in the 7-Eleven, it's in the convenience stores. I just saw the magazines there. I mean, they're always in print, they're always out. I just saw Mike Santana of TNA fame, who's had a great year, right?
Yep.
I just saw him post how excited he was and this was a main post, not just a story post, but a main post on his feed. He's excited and proud of being on the front cover of PWI. And that is cool because we all grew up watching that. But I don't particularly see PWI magazine in magazine stores anymore. I don't know. I'm sure they're out there.
That was a point I was about to make. So magazines are still huge in Japan. They're not huge in America anymore because we digest our media differently. And I was a fan of the magazines growing up. And there was a time in the 90s when I was a kid, and you go to the magazine stand, there'd be Pro Wrestling Illustrated, there'd be Inside Wrestling, there'd be This Is Wrestling, there'd be 4 or 5 of these like Napolitano publications. I really appreciate this cat turning my light off. That's awesome.
It's a good cat.
And it went down to you didn't see them anymore, and then you'd see PWI only. And then over about the last 10 years, because I looked into it, PWI comes out like quarterly. So there's no wrestling magazine presence in the States anymore.
Yeah, no, zero.
We were never friendly with those guys anyway, so I don't really care. I hated seeing it go for the child, little Drew, not for the big LG. But in Japan, it's a huge deal to walk into the conveni and see the magazine and who got the cover, and then to look through it and see, did I get a spread? Did I get a picture? Are we in here? What's going on? And you keep up with everything and everybody. And when I was in WWE before I ever got to wrestle in Japan, Funaki, every time he would come back, he would bring a stack of Japanese wrestling magazines and he'd leave them in the locker room. Then the boys would pass them around. So you'd see who was doing what, especially 2007, 2008, 2009, like everybody wasn't as Twitter privy and everything wasn't out there. So you could be like, oh shit, like what's Big Daddy V doing in all Japan? We were always so interested to see those magazines. And that's why I remember seeing Carl and Giant Bernard and thinking like, man, these guys are LOD. This is awesome because of the presentation of that magazine is a huge deal.
It's something I'm just like, I'm inherently romantic for the idea. I always love the story of when Razor met with Vince about his money, and he goes, I could work Japan a little bit. I'm just romantic about the idea of the boys. I can work Japan, and I love that you guys have that. It's like that's old school, right?
Jericho said him and Vince were negotiating something. I don't know if he said this publicly or to us when we were just hanging out, but basically, him and Vince were arguing about some comeback that he was or wasn't going to make, and Vince said, well, how do I know you're not going to run off to Japan and take some 7-figure deal? And he goes, Vince, it's not the 80s.
Yeah, there's not 7-figure deals.
Vince was thinking this in 2014 or something. Yeah, 2009, whatever it was. And it popped the shit out of me.
That's tremendous.
Well, because everyone will say, well, I'll just go back to Japan. I'll just go back to Japan. And but you've got to have been there before, right? And you got to understand, you got to take into account that those are expensive flights. So they got to get you there. Then how long are you going to be willing to stay there? Because no matter how much you say you love being on the road, if you're not used to Japan, you're going to lose your mind.
And if you haven't really been on the road, you don't know what you're saying. Yeah,
and especially in Japan, it's different. And we've always said that too. We'll just go back to Japan because we're comfortable there. We get it.
Right.
And we haven't really talked as openly about this, but we thought we were going to be back live, full steam ahead with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and things just didn't go the way anybody thought it would, which is it's better. It's fine. Because we already did that. This is like I said, we did that. Yeah, it's time. It was time for a change. Like, what the fuck we're gonna do? Go back to New Japan? I love what
we're doing. This is actually a surprise to people, not the obvious.
Just as a fan,
it's cool.
I think it's way more interesting. Just as a fan,
yes, shit had to get switched up because the only way we go back to New Japan is if we go back to New Japan. I beat the fuck out of Tanahashi, and then we take the championship, and we go on. And anybody watching or any fans watching go, oh my god,
exactly.
But that's my point. But what else? What do you want us to do? You want us to go back in there, beat up someone, and then Too Sweet Chase Owens and go, we're back in the Bullet Club?
That's the biggest issue. The Bullet Club still exists, right? So you have to kind of address that, and you're either going to fight the Bullet Club or be with them. And it's just it's familiar. This feels new. Yeah,
it's over. Listen. We've gone above and beyond anything the Bullet Club could ever. We are the Good Brothers, dude. People look at us like that before they look at us the Bullet Club. We've moved on from the Bullet Club. This is we're doing the thing that we like to do. We throw up a Too Sweet, and that's just more of something that we have just always done. It's something that comes with us. It was Scott Hall and Kevin Nash blessed us with it. It's something that we're always going to carry on. So we're doing our thing in Noah, and we're excited about it.
Yeah. I mean, and also, there's some incredibly talented guys in Bullet Club. It's not a reflection of Bullet Club. None of us are saying that, but it's, obviously it's a different thing, right? People don't look at you guys and go, oh, it's like David Finley's Bullet Club. And that's not a reflection of David Finley. He's fucking awesome. It's just
it's just different. It's time. It's time. It was time to change and time to move on. Unless they're going to give us a 7-figure deal, like you were saying. That's how we go back to Japan on a 7-figure deal.
Right.
It's heating up, boys.
and then just walk to the ring with Fale and go, we're back, baby.
We are. What do you want?
It was time for a complete change. Noah was ready for us. I know the president really well. One of the office guys named Takeda, who was part of New Japan for a long time, is now in the high in the office in New Japan. I've worked with Noah before. Me and Baldo were the GHC tag team champions. So we have our ties there. We have our stuff there, and we're excited about what's coming.
I toured Noah before I ever went to New Japan ever. So
that's right. Didn't you did you? I don't want to put words in your mouth here. Was there not an element of double booking there, where you sort of you were just going to hop back and forth like a true pro wrestler?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought of Joe or Joe Hulbert.
Yeah.
Well, what happened was Noah had great plans for me, and the first tour went really great. And one of the guys who's no longer with us, God rest his soul, had this huge plan for me. And then in the midst of that, I signed with TNA with the understanding, and that regime of TNA was going to allow me to continue working with Noah, which they did not do. Yeah. So basically, I came and I got this nice little push, and then I was gone for a fucking year. So I leave TNA, and I'm going, okay, well, I can go back to Noah. And I had already talked to Hattori and Chad and Scott D'Amore and New Japan and agreed to do that. And then Noah was like, well, hey, can we use you for these 2 weeks? And I was like, well, yeah, I'm not busy. And I called him up and I go, well, this will be fine, right? I'll go ahead and I'll do this Noah tour. Then I'll just pop over to you guys. And he goes, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, we got this big deal. We got this big deal to tag team, and I'd heard rumors we were going to win this fucking tag league, and then go to the Tokyo Dome and go for the IWGP Tag Team Championships, and that's before he even stepped foot in the country. Then he calls me and goes, I kind of set this deal up with Noah. I thought maybe I'd do this. I thought I'd do Noah in beginning of November and come home and do the tag league. I go, hold
that sounds good, right?
I have to ask, and this wasn't on my extensive format, but I'm just genuinely intrigued, and feel free to be as honest as you want to be.
Yeah.
When you look at the something like the tag league, as a tag team, is that something where you go, that's exciting, or is it something where you go, that's a long tour of tag team wrestling? I
think when you start, you think that's going to be awesome, and then as you do a few of them, you go, that's a tall order.
Yeah. Then or now, Joe?
Then, I mean, so obviously, the first time you team up is in the tag league 2014.
I was excited.
Right?
He'd already done tag leagues.
Right, because you'd already won a few of them, I'm sure.
Kind of old hat to him. I was pumped though.
Yeah. No, it was exciting. Just the only thing is, sometimes on those tag leagues, they go to some shitty little country towns for some reason.
Yeah.
And sometimes the crowds don't really give it to you. They don't give you because maybe you just say, for example, you go way down south in Tokyo, or sorry, way down south in Japan. Like maybe you're going down close to Fukuoka, which is the southern island, or Hakata, the southern island in Japan. And they don't really see the television as much. They don't know the new faces as much, and they're just there. And so they're not as smart to wrestling. So they're not popping for everything you're doing. But they want you to have one of these big matches where you're doing power bombs and top rope stuff, and they're not giving you any. When they would rather have you tell them to shut up or whatever, or just a different kind of crowd. Yeah. So you're having these big crazy matches, and they're not giving you the feedback that a Tokyo or an Osaka crowd will give you. And so sometimes you're like, this isn't a whole lot of fun, But
it felt as a fact, because I remember
getting the shit beaten out of me for this.
I think it was the last one you guys. I think it's 2015. They had Daniels and Kazarian on that tour.
Yep.
Yes,
and as fans, I remember vividly fans being like, because they're one of the great teams. They're an incredible team, and I remember fans like, oh, it's gonna be great to see the Addiction or Bad Influence, whatever name they were using in New Japan. And then once you watch some of those shows, you realize it isn't quite what you imagine, because those crowds are what you just described, right? And it's like the guys are working from zero to begin with. They've not been as a team before.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that audience isn't familiar with them, so they're hitting their greatest hits, and people are going, all right. That happened with us.
Yeah, and they wouldn't even know. Like I try to explain this to people. AJ Styles debuted in Japan, re-debuted in Japan in 2014, took his hoodie off, and they didn't react. They didn't know who the fuck he was,
Yeah, it's true.
And that's just like with Sasha Banks, dude. She's a big star, huge star, but dude, Tokyo Dome 2023. I mean, she came out. They didn't know who she was, dude.
Yeah.
And it was good. And she had a new name. Like her name was Mercedes Moné.
Yeah.
And this is that's my point. And like, but the Tokyo Dome crowd was like, hold on a second. So then they have to start talking to each other, and then they, of course, they start to figure out who she is. And that doesn't mean she's not a big star, but it's just, she hasn't been on that TV there, which is a different TV. It's a different thing. They have their own TV that they watch. And I saw New Japan sell out Ryogoku, and in that same year, I watched WWE not sell out the same building. So, I mean, I watched that with, that's not a Dave Meltzer thing. That's a fact that I looked at with my own eyes watching it, and I saw
wrestling, but it's two different forms of it for sure. Two different audiences.
I mean, this year we even had evidence that WWE have had, whatever anyone thinks of creative, it is what it is. But in terms of the box office, they've had a great couple of years. It wasn't that way at Sumo Hall, right? It's a different beast.
It is now. I've been inside Ryogoku Sumo Hall though with WWE, and the crowd has been good. I've seen it bad, and I've seen it good, and I've seen it where it's been, oh, this isn't as good of reactions as I thought it would be, and then I've also seen it where it's like, oh shit, this is what I want. This is what I want the WWE guys to feel and see. Right. And I remember AJ was really pumped about it, and when we had a good relationship with Triple H, AJ said this. He was like, hey, like we need to tour Japan. I'm telling you, there is untapped stuff here in Japan, right? And Hunter, obviously a businessman, he sees the numbers, he sees the size of the country, whatever it was. He said, listen, AJ, it just doesn't economically make sense. Like we don't make money here, right? And it's like that was like kind of one of the first wake up calls to me. It was like, because you know they got to fly everybody over there, right? Yeah. And then they got to where do they tour? Do they go to Tokyo, Osaka? You know, do they go to up north? Do they go down south? And I guess you know they don't draw enough to bring to justify them going for a 3-week tour or something. I don't think a lot of the guys too knew how special we were at that time in Japan. You know, there was I mean the matches were planned probably not for us, and then you know, the crowd, especially then, wanted, you know, to only kind of see us.
They wanted to see us.
As the actual people doing the work behind LNG Productions, I thought it makes sense that you feature on the final upload of 2025, now that we're 6 months into this journey. And so with that in mind, I wanted to ask you guys, just snapshot, what was your highlight of 2025 on the Late Night Grin? Rice Man, you had a ton of time to prepare. What comes to mind, brother?
Highlight. Let's see. There's so many of them off the top of my head. It would honestly probably have to be the first Grinfinite we did, just because it was like dipping my toe into doing like cartoon graphics.
Yes.
And it was my first time like experimenting with that or even pulling it off. And I think it came together nicely and kind of set the stage for what we eventually would do. Yeah, dude, that's just one. If you allow me the least two.
Yeah.
Tokyo Tape, hands down, was the coolest thing I've ever been a part of. So, and I think that was probably the best video we've ever done. Tope went nuts on that, so I don't want to speak too much before he comes in, but
he did. And you know, the reason we're doing this impromptu is because Rice, very humble fellow, doesn't want to, you know, take the spotlight. Tope, by contrast, I thought you've been waiting for this moment, mate. Now's the chance. What's been your highlight?
Yes, this is my moment. I mean, I think obviously the Tokyo tapes and like that whole process is definitely number one because it's the first like ever doing something of that scale. I also really liked, especially working with Adonis and like having that like outside person come in and like really become part of LNG and have their voice kind of be told through production. So I think that's cool.
I agree. And jokes aside, fellas, it was important to me we did this. I get to be the front man of a lot of this stuff, other than the Cena video, which I'm still mad and bitter about. I think I should have done it personally. But he was good, I guess. But I get to be the front man of a lot of this stuff, but the reality is when it comes to the production side of things, it's the least work I do on the platform of Late Night Grin because really all I do is record stuff and then go, fellas, here you go. Good luck. And in fact, only in the last couple of months have I even had the foresight to give Rice like an idea of what I want stuff to look like. Before I just went, go on, do something with that. So I do all this. I want to thank you both for all the work you've done. It's been great. And I think we all believe, and I speak for you guys, I think we all believe we're on to bigger and better things, and we're hopeful 2026 is going to be pretty damn cool. So I appreciate you both, fellas. Both of you, I've heard you talk about it, and I actually think it's an interesting topic. There's a big push with fans now. It's one of the new big kind of buzz topics is we need a youth movement. We need a youth movement. And whenever I hear that, we need, you know, certain guys. It doesn't need to be a youth movement, right? And I've heard you guys talk about you can be judged based on your age rather than your work, how you look, how you feel to the TV viewer. Is that like a challenge that irks you? Because if sometimes when you'll hear talk about on the pod, this isn't me talking out of turn. You'll talk about on the pod and it's like, fuck, man, it's not our fault we got on TV young, right? Like we're still doing this. We're still the same wrestlers we were before, if not better. It seems like a challenging thing to navigate with guys of your experience.
Well, you know, I just heard another. I like to. Gallows has a lot to say on this, and I do too.
Yeah.
Good thing. We both like to talk. And Joe, you're a good listener.
I have to be.
But I just again came upon a podcast of Tom Brady saying, "Dude, I can still do this." I just saw it. It was either today or yesterday. And they're like, "You mean as good as you want, as good as you did before?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I could. And they're like, the only thing is, do I want to go through all the training and do I want to do all that now at this age? Do I want to? Not really, but I absolutely can. Give me 31 days and I can do it. And it's like, that's what I'm just trying to explain to people that this is a different business too, what we do. Tom Brady can still be out there doing this. So it's just, there's this weird thing with this age thing. And of course, when you get beat up, obviously age is a real thing. Yes, we get it. But Tanahashi he's still just sold out the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah.
Sure as hell.
And of course his knees are jacked up and they have a different kind of life that they have over there. He didn't take he didn't take any surgeries that he should have possibly taken, but we all know why Tom Brady retired the first time. It was personal stuff. He immediately came back, and then he retired then because he just felt like maybe he just needed to get out again. It was again more personal stuff. It's just this is the best I've felt in a decade, and I can say that with true honesty. So and the youth movement, I get it. I think they should push Steiner's son. I think they should push him right to the moon. I think he should fucking spear Punk and make him the champion and go with him. But then you're still going to have to headline with. I still think you're going to have to headline with Punk versus him for a while. I mean,
that's the thing is you have to have someone for him to stand across the ring against.
Because look at the Tokyo Dome now; it's sold out, but it's sold out with Tanahashi and Okada, right? Then just say Okada beats Tanahashi.
Sure.
There's Tanahashi doing the honors, and then Okada goes right back to AEW, and he's not going to be inside that New Japan ring.
Who's going to draw the house for the next 5 tours is the question.
Yeah, and who's going to?
That's all I'm saying. They might have a young guy come out and beat the fuck out of both of them, which I doubt that they'll do that. I'm just saying that, and maybe they'll try something at the end, but I'm not against Okada being the face of it again, but he's not going to be because he's going back to AEW. But that's my point being, age doesn't bother me. You got to keep pushing guys, but you can keep the guys up on top if they can still go.
Also, you need somebody to make those young guys and make them comfortable in those scenarios, which I think is true. But like the age battle is something where I've talked about this till I'm blue in the face, and I'm not even on the old side of it yet, I don't think. But it's like anything in pro wrestling. When there's a nitpicky point, people will beat it like a drum, especially like on X or Twitter, where it just becomes a hot button topic. It's like the people versus AEW when it comes to the creative, right? For 6 months, this is the worst fucking shit I've ever seen in my life. Then they're pro WWE. Well, then WWE pisses them off and it's back to, well, this is the worst shit I've ever seen in my life. And this is why. And then there's every reason behind it. So I think that wrestling gets really finicky when it comes to stuff like that. But I also think too, like if you look at the history of pro wrestling and you go back and you look at the guys who drew through history, and this isn't because we're getting to that age now, but like they always wanted a guy around 40 years old because he was very comfortable. He was established with the fans. And he knew every facet of the job by that point. And I think that's why. And then of course, when you're young, you go, well, fuck that guy. He's old. I remember I came in very early and I never thought, fuck that guy, he's old. But I remember thinking, I can't believe he's doing that like that. And he's this age. Like I remember being, 21 in the car with Chavo Guerrero and he goes, I'm 38. And I go, Jesus Christ, I'm 38. What's he doing? And I mean, he's just like rocking it with Shelton Benjamin every night during that tour.
It, dude. Yeah.
And that's what made me even more amazed. And that's what proves the point. Like what Hot Carl's saying is, yeah, Tom Brady still can do it, which is very cool. Yeah. So I don't know.
There was I spoke to Machine Gun about this actually. They did the deal with the Cena tournament where they had guys come back. And Ziggler comes out. I think Dolph is 44, 45. He's in the same range as Cole, right? And it's like he's still one of the best guys on the show, and people are surprised. It's like you shouldn't be. He's still guys treat their bodies differently now. Right? It's a different thing. Yeah.
I remember Shawn Michaels yelling at us at OVW when I was Festus, and I still had to show up at OVW. And somebody asked a really dumb question. They watched the show, him and Hunter, and they put the show over and said they thought it was a good show, and they opened the floor for questions. And some guy raises his hand and goes, "Hey, when do you think we'll be able to get back on the gas and this drug testing bull?" Now, this is right after the Eddie Guerrero death and then the Chris Benoit. And this was the dude's question. And Sean went from like this jolly Christian man into this raging promo and everybody. And I remember the end of it being, I'm 42 years old now, smoke every fucking one of you. I got no drugs running through me.
Well,
I
yeah,
understand the passion of it now, though, a little bit. You know, it makes
but you can say and think about this. That's so true too, right? But the business,
because he would have smoked any one of us.
the business right now, the wrestling business right now is thriving more than it ever has ever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, well, it's drawing more than ever.
100%.
It's bringing in more profit than ever in all
More
aspects,
contracted wrestlers than ever.
all over the world. But who's on top? You can look at it like this, right? So it's exactly. So in the WWE, they did that WrestleMania commercial. There was all 40-year-olds in the commercial, all 40 and a 50-year-old.
No, the youngest guy in the commercial was 40.
That's what I'm saying. It was all 40 and up, and then
Right.
AEW just closed a show last night with Kenny and the Bucks. Am I thinking right? Whatever it is, but those are all they're 40-year-old brothers, and
Joe's
they
the
can go
champ. Yeah.
They can go
But
better than
like
anybody
you
in the
said, I
world.
think, but you need those guys to build the new guys. Like, and this is just I don't watch everything. I know WWE hardly. And I've been watching a little bit of AEW for the live pod on Wednesdays. Talking Shop Live every Wednesday, 10.
No, what I'm saying is that they're the ones drawing.
No, I agree. I'm
These
saying though, but
guys are the ones drawing.
You need them to push Braun Breaker, and then on the other side, like I would push Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah.
You need those guys to make Kyle Fletcher. You need CM Punk to make Braun Breaker. You know,
you mentioned Kyle Fletcher, perfect. He worked with Mark Briscoe, I think, 5 times this year, and every time it got better. Mark Briscoe's a veteran,
he's going to be a made man in the eyes of that television audience who aren't smarter other than turning the show on to see him.
Yeah.
And he's a new star, so that exactly.
And dude, I was just on the cover of the magazine last week. I made that magazine cooler because that kid would have just been smiling without this crazy raging gaijin behind
Japanese
him.
legend behind him. Yeah.
And when that house at Budokan is sold out, we can take all the credit.
We'll take all the credit for it for sure.
But again, everyone thinks Naito's coming to Budokan, right? Well, then that's going to draw too. But what is Naito's age? That's my point. Is the business is thriving on guys that have taken care of themselves, who are all 40 and over. But they're the reason that the business is drawing. It's that age right now.
Yeah, 100%.
It needs to be a mix, right? And that's the best way. The roster should have young guys, should have veterans, and so on and so forth.
What do you think of it, Joe? What do you think of?
What do you think?
The Tanahashi.
Tanahashi in particular, he's a huge part of my fandom. The thing I always say about Hiroshi Tanahashi is when I first started watching New Japan and you guys were, riding high and Bullet Club and all that good stuff, and I was convinced Okada was my favorite wrestler because of the matches with Tanahashi.
Yeah. And
this is going to sound like a slight on Okada. It isn't intended. He's obviously one of the greats, but the greatness of Tanahashi is I only realized 2 years later when there was wrestling other guys, Tanahashi was the reason I loved those matches, which is obviously Okada went on to do incredible things, but the greatness I think of Tanahashi is less. Everyone always talks about how great of a wrestling hero he is, or was, and still is. I think the true greatness of him is he had that Bret Hart ability to when he needed to, he could lean the other way. He did it in the match with yourself in the New Beginning match. He works. Yeah. He's like he'll win that match almost, right? Because the people are with you. His ability to adjust in a match, I think, is like all-time great levels. So yeah, definitely a legend.
Because he reached a point, especially in 2013, and that was 2011, 12, 13, where he was so good and being pushed so hard that the people wanted to turn on him, but they didn't really want to. They wanted to have fun booing him. Yeah. Like if you watch that match from Hiroshima, it looks like the crowd really truly wants me to win. Like it really truly comes that way, and it would have probably got a good reaction, but the crowd would have hated it about fucking 2 minutes, 20 seconds after they realized that I just beat Tanahashi. They said, "Oh, now what?" Yeah.
Absolutely.
But that's what with him. Yeah, he's the kind of guy that you want to love to cheer. And now they finally just love to cheer him.
Right.
The business is in a better place with him.
Tanahashi.
With him in the office there in New Japan. But I don't know. Maybe he's not that good of an office guy because he didn't reach a deal with us. So I think he fucked up. So
shots fired here on Late Night Grin Holidays with the Hoots edition.
It is. But I'm being real. We didn't come to a conclusion, which it's a good thing. So we're able to go to Noah and do what we're doing. So maybe we'll see how the legacy of Tanahashi in the office turns out.
We will. We most definitely will. So anyway, where I was going to go
that was perfect.
And if you read his book, you can see he put me over because he put me over very well.
big. Yeah,
that was big. Yeah. Is it, kind of jarring seeing the peers like that step is obviously Cena just retired and like these guys you were, or is it just like you just keep rolling? Right? It's just
you just keep rolling. And I still think, like, for me especially, they still feel a generation older than me.
Yeah.
But I started so young.
Right.
So I was there before a lot of people were in a lot of places, and it like AJ still feels a generation older than me.
Yeah.
To me, anyway.
No, yeah, I get that completely. I mean, AJ in 2002, AJ already had some national notoriety, right? So, yeah,
exactly.
I get that completely. Well, boys, just as we all expected, here we are, myself and the Young Guns, splitting Good Brothers segments, just as we all thought we would in January of 2025.
Of course.
I am not on the far left of the screen here. Usually I'm on the far left, but not on the screen this time because Buster, of course, has to look down at us all in that judging fashion. Buster, with that in mind, I'll start with you.
Okay.
Highlight of the Grins 2025 in your mind and any holiday message for the Grinners?
The first thing that came to my mind whenever you mentioned previously, favorite moment from the year, is just the time, like the weeks and days leading up to All In. And then I know it wasn't on stream, but like hanging out with Novi, getting to meet Novi. That whole week was probably my highlight of the year. The charity stream is also awesome. I'm sure somebody will mention it. But, and I mean, just like the community, thank you, obviously. I maybe a little sad, but also like not really. If I didn't have this community, I actually would not have friends. That's just me shooting. I'd be a very lonely guy. Hence why I do so many shows. I just, what else am I gonna do? You know what I mean?
It's an escape.
Yeah, it is. It very much is. So, obviously the community. Thank you for allowing us to have that. We appreciate you more than you know, genuinely.
Absolutely. We also appreciate Caden Lee.
I guess
sometimes,
if you want.
Caden Lee, the highlight of your year, mate, on LNG. I want to stress again on LNG, please.
Yeah, on LNG. Yeah, there's a lot of moments, Joe, from outside.
You're
of the
a big
year.
moments guy.
Outside of LNG. Yeah, there's a lot of great Caden Lee moments. There's also a lot of great LNG moments. And mine this year was the charity stream. I put in a good 24 hours straight. I did take a break to at one point I ate some pizza, I think. Yeah. And then I also went to Wendy's and Dutch Bros, which then led to an inadvertent break that I needed to take after the Wendy's and Dutch Bros.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But stayed up for 24 hours. I was very proud of myself. We did a great job.
He's a bad guy, man. On the stream, he just goes, I shit myself after I got Wendy's and Dutch Bros.
What was your favorite moment of the year when I shit myself on the charity stream? Awesome, bro. I hear you. Wonderfully put, Caden, I guess. Novi, what about yourself, mate?
There's a lot of great moments of the year, but I'm going all the way back to the start of it. The Wrestle Kingdom Grinalong. Oh my God, what a night. I don't know what it was. It's obviously late doing Wrestle Kingdom, but I was so energized. I was so pumped. I was like, Wrestle Kingdom, it's the spirit. And then we all collectively had to sit through 45 minutes of maybe the worst match of the year. And to see Joe break down over the course of that runtime was incredible.
It's so fucking funny how like we were all being, I don't know about all of us. We were trying to be polite. Joe especially was like really trying his best. And then like the 35-minute mark, he's like, what the fuck are they doing? Like screaming. It was so good. I'm going to go rewatch that later. Holy fuck.
That's what it's all about, fellas. We've had some great times. We've watched a lot of wrestling together this year.
Yeah.
We've done some wild things. There was indeed. There was Cricket Gate. There was all sorts of fiascos, fines, suspensions. But we made it to the other side, and it's been a pleasure, fellas. It's been an absolute pleasure. So here's to many more, and on to 2026, right?
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Well, I'm outside. I don't really know what this life is like because I don't touch grass or leave my room, but alas, the business is the business. Folks, I've been summoned to talk to all you incredible Grinners on this lovely Christmas week. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. I think this is going to air on Christmas Eve. I'm going to be honest, the days kind of all blend together for me now. If I was any funnier, I would do a sincere bit, but I'm not. So we're going to keep this short, sweet, and honest from the heart. I was contacted to do one project for this platform months ago, and if you would have told me all those months ago that it would have turned into nearly 20 shows in over 2 months and 2 big productions uploads centered around my favorite wrestler of all time, I would have called you nuts. I would have called you an absolute psycho. And yet, as we sit here today, getting ready to close out the year here shortly, I can honestly and confidently tell you that I'm eternally grateful that that's how it turned out. I've said it ad nauseum, but it bears repeating in something like this, that wrestling in so many ways has genuinely saved my life. So to have a platform in a space this incredible and this diverse, to get to share my enthusiasm and love of the sport, I mean, I can't really begin to fully quantify what that means to me. And moreover, it's extra special considering this is the final active year of my favorite wrestler. So to have gotten to celebrate him in the grand fashion that I have, I mean, that's incredibly special and near and dear to my heart. And I'll never be able to fully thank everyone at LNG and all the people that watch and have watched anything I've done or said for what that has done for me in a year that of my life that I can honestly say has been really bizarre and at times really, really difficult. I hope that if nothing else, anybody that has watched a single thing that I've been a part of has taken anything away from me, whether it was positive, negative, and indifferent, whether you liked the take I had or thought I was really loud and annoying. I mean, I was on entirely too many shows for somebody like me to have been on. And it's just been a really, really cool venture and a really cool opportunity. I don't know what 2026 holds or entails, but all I know is that a hell of a time has been had. And I am just so grateful and thankful for every person that has been open and gracious and accepting of me as a personality, as a opinionator, however you want to refer to me. It means the absolute world to me. In closing, I just want to say, be kind, be open, reach out to people, talk to people, ask for help if you need it. You never know what someone's going through. We're all fighting this weird fight known as life. So just keep on punching, and in the end, it's all going to be okay. And in the wise words of my GOAT, let's go to work. Thank you guys so much for everything.
There is a name, a much less, a more unheralded name's retiring in January. There's a Late Night Grin. Yes, a Late Night Grin favourite who has also put you guys over strong. Our beloved Fandango, JDC, Dango, whatever moniker we go with. There's an interview he did a couple years ago with Chris Hero.
Okay.
And he said something about you guys that I love. Said to
I've
me,
never heard this.
He goes, to me, they're just pro wrestling. And he couldn't fully explain what he meant, but I think if you watch it, you get it, right? And you guys probably have heard the same thing of like, that's just them guys, they're what wrestling's all about. You know, like you're happy to be around them and you happy to spend time with them. And he does tell a particular story. And I'm intrigued if Gallows remembers this as well, as he had a very vivid memory of it.
I'm sure that I know exactly.
This is exciting to see which way he goes with this. Yeah.
Yes,
so the tale of Big Mike, I believe, is the story in question.
Yeah. It was the weekend of Big Mike.
Yes. So if you can, on this wonderful festive occasion, if we could get your own rendition, that'd be wonderful.
Well, so it's a long story because this happens over 2 nights.
Well, we've got time. It's actually a 2-night story, and is it coming out of South Dakota or North Dakota, or what was one of those?
Oh, wow.
I'm like, what are you drinking, cowboy?
Yeah.
And he looks up at me from his drink in sorrow, and he goes, don't call me fucking cowboy. I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, I'm in a good mood, you know? I thought we were going to have a good time.
So the night of Big Mike was Don't Call Me Big Mike.
Yeah.
All right, Big Mike.
I'd forgotten this one. Wow.
Sorry, cowboy. Don't call me cowboy. All right, Big Mike.
And I was trying to, I'm not going to get into everything. But
yeah.
I'm like, fuck, man. He's like, my name is Mike, and my dog died, and I do concrete, and I don't have show muscles like you pussy. Because I'm wearing a tank top.
Yeah.
You called me fake show muscles.
Show muscles, yeah.
Because he lays concrete. He's all covered in concrete and shit. He's like,
to the point where, for no reason, Big Mike and JDC are ready to throw the fuck down.
But just two men, right?
And then Big Mike said, the only reason I came in here tonight is because my dog ran away, and I'm sad.
My dog died. That's why I'm here. I'm like, well, fuck, Big Mike. He's like, don't call me Big Mike. I go, all right, cowboy. And he goes, fuck you, motherfucker. I'm like,
and JDC said, I can see why. And I said, oh, boy.
He said, I can see why the dog went away.
He lived that line out, I got to tell you.
He said, the only reason I even came, I don't know why you're messing with me and calling me cowboy. The only reason I came in here tonight is because I'm sad because my dog ran away. And I went outside and I was standing there and I got so sad I decided to come to the bar. And JDC looks up from his shot and he goes, "Your dog ran away." And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "I can see why."
We're getting into it. Yeah. And like, so you know, Gallows like breaks it up, and then I go, "Let me buy you a drink." He goes, "All right, brother." And then me and Big Mike just became best friends, and we're drinking and hugging and talking about his dog. He's like, "Man, she was the best dog you could ever ask for," and we're just having a fun heart to heart.
Oh man, I forgot that one.
The story I thought was going to be was one night, I believe it was the same. It actually wasn't the same loop. It might have been a week later, but we're down somewhere like in a border town in Texas. And I hadn't seen, you have to remember, I met Dango when he came to Deep South as an extra, a young, humble boy trying to get a job.
Yeah.
And he was putting over all the TV guys of developmental or whatever. And they ended up loving him and hired him. And, the rest is history. But I hadn't seen him in over a decade because, like, as I leave WWE, he gets called up and he gets the Fandango run. He does the WrestleMania match with Jericho. I remember seeing that, like, I believe in the New Japan Dojo or something. So the trajectory was different. I hadn't seen him in years, but I'm like, man, this guy's my buddy. And I'm telling Carl, this guy's my buddy. He's great. He's great. He's great. And Dango was in a weird place when we came back to WWE.
Fair.
He just was, and he'll tell you that. He was all over the place, doing whatever he was doing and having the time of his life. So he says, "We're going to ride together." We said, "Great." We get this, whatever we got, an SUV, a van. I'll try to keep it short. So anyway, we go out like on the Saturday night. We're in this country Texas town. And he wants to go to a bar, and we go to a bar, and we're in the bar. And, like, Carl and I, when he was drinking and me occasionally now, we're kind of hang out, chill guys. We're not, we're not perusing the bar. We're not looking to start a fist fight. We're just kind of hanging out, talking shit, laughing like we're doing right now. And all of a sudden, Dango hits me with a quick little left right in the mouth.
He jabs him. Yeah.
A little jab. And I go, what the fuck are you doing? And I realize he's got a buzz and he's amped up and he does it again. What the fuck are you doing? And he goes, it's okay. Let me buy you drinks. We have a drink. And then, I turn around, I come out of the bathroom. He fucking hits me with another one. I go, you're not gonna be able to keep fucking doing that. "Oh, cool it, babe. Everything's cool, babe. Everything's cool, babe." I order another drink. I turn around, wham, another one. I said, "One more time, we're going outside, motherfucker." He goes, "What? What are you talking about?" Now, by this point, we're eight or 10 cocktails into the party. So finally, the last one hits. I go, "That's it, motherfucker. Outside right now." So we go outside of this Texas bar, and for some reason.
But I'm thinking, like, why does Fandango, who I don't know at all, right? I just know him from television. I'm going, why does he keep punching Gallows? I'm just trying to have a beer here,
Yeah, like we're just taking it in, listening to the jukebox, and this guy's hitting me with his best flea flicker.
I'm thinking, I can't imagine Gallows going to take many more of these little bully shots, Yeah. And Gallows whacks him back with that hard right.
Well, so we get outside, and for some reason, in our drunkenness, we both have cowboy boots on, for one. This was in the cowboy boot era of WWE. So I got these high-riding heel cowboy boots on. We both have a buzz. It's dark. And we decided to have this fight under this big tree, like a big oak tree. So there's all these roots coming out from the tree.
Each other.
So we start to circle each other, and we keep tripping over the roots.
Yeah, two non-boxers, by the way.
So he starts throwing one. I start throwing one. We're kind of in there a little bit. And then all of a sudden, I was pissed. He hit me with a couple right in the mouth. And I just cracked him with a left jab. And he goes, "Oh, fuck you. I hate you guys." And he runs away. And we go, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Fuck this. Let's get out of here. This sucks, man. These guys are no fun to hang out with. I miss Japan." So I see this taxi cab across the street, and it's a minivan taxi. I go, "Taxi!" And the Mexican brother pulls over. He goes, "Hello, senor." I said, "Hello, senor." I jump in. I said, "We need to go to the Marriott." So he says, "Okay, see." And then all of a sudden, we see this guy running down the street. And I go, "Oh, fuck, there comes Dango. God damn it." Yeah. And Dango whips the van door open. He goes, "Hey, guys, can I get a ride, boys?" And I go, I mean, I guess. So he gets in. Now, granted, this taxi cab driver's been sitting across the street waiting for the drunks to come out so he can get a fare. So he's been watching the door and the tree. And Dango goes, "Man, I don't ever like to get in a fight with the boys, man, but you started that, Gallows. This was all your fault." I said, "What the fuck? I did not start that." And all of a sudden, the driver goes, That is correct, sir. I watched the whole thing. It was you who started.
Yeah, Dango goes, oh, come on, what the fuck?
What the fuck, man?
So really, the Big Mike story has got nothing on that. I mean, that was
nothing on that. The Big Mike story is funny, but the fight story was way funnier because it was immediately.
Yeah.
It was perfect. But that's Dango. But when you say that about Dango saying they're pro wrestling, I remember we were sitting in a dressing room somewhere and Moxley walked in and he goes, "You guys are such pro wrestlers." And I go, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "I just feel like I can walk in any locker room in the world and you just might be sitting there." And I go, "Well, I love that. That's a compliment to me.
That's awesome. That's true.
Like traveled brothers."
I think it's like everyone. I remember when we got released the first time, like we got messages from, I mean, the whole business, right? I remember specifically from Randy Orton, from Roman Reigns. I'll use those two top names specifically in 2020. They both said, listen, I know you guys are going to land on your feet. Like I would expect nothing less. Like just good luck with everything. And I'm sorry the way it worked out. And it's like, there's just to get, I mean, that's just, and it happened again. And I got messages again from different people. And it's like, that's the kind of messages we get, even at times when maybe possibly even we lacked a little bit of confidence. Like, I don't fucking know, but like some of the biggest names in the industry are like, dude, I'm not even concerned with you guys. Like, good luck. It's probably for the better. And it's like,
see you down the road.
I understand what he means by that. Because like, it's like, we're going to continue going, until the wheels fall off, and the wheels are still fully on.
Wheels are fully intact.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That was tremendous. And Dango is a point of interest because he has so many great stories, but he's a unique character because anyone who's watched him work knows he's fucking good, but he just had such a strange career. He just like floated around.
He was a weird pro wrestling unicorn, and I saw what happened to him early. He got caught in that developmental system where they thought he's really good, and it's really good to have him here, and we don't know what to do with him. And he didn't have a gimmick until Vince made him Fandango. So he's, Johnny Curtis, the most jacked, best developmental wrestler, and he can do your developmental main event, but what is he?
Yeah.
Especially in that time in WWE. And that's why it took you got to take your hat off to the guy who hung around developmental for basically 10 years. Yeah. And then he knew to embrace it, and he went and took fucking dance lessons and learned how to dance to pop Vince, and he got a WrestleMania match out of it. And then after that, it was like the shiny toy effect because, you could have changed the gimmick. You could have. It's not the same at all. So I don't want anyone to take it as like a snarky comment, but it was like kind of how I felt about Festus. Like you could have evolved out of it into something else. You just didn't. And especially with a character like that, they go, "Oh, he's the dancing guy, so we'll put him in the first match," and people remember him from his WrestleMania match, so he can get beat by so and so, which is fine. But he was a guy who was, he had a promo. He was talented in the ring. He was obviously charismatic, and he didn't say no to anything. So it is interesting with somebody like that they didn't find at least one more thing to try or one more layer to it. But, and I think at the time, too, when he was trying to break into that top realm and he got that match with Jericho and, from just leaving that system at this time, I don't know this to be fact, but you hear things when you work as closely as we do. I don't think that probably the guys who were still holding down the top spots at the time were real welcoming to 30-something-year-old dancing Dango, unfortunately. And I think that hurts you too.
When I don't even know if I've told this story ever, but in 2016 when we debuted with a lot of hype, right? Like Bullet Club was here. We're in the Staples Center. I think we had a match on TV, and like Hunter and Road Dogg didn't particularly love what we did on the TV. Like he didn't hate it, but I'd had no clue what television wrestling was all about. I'd only done Japan stuff. So the very next week they had us do a main event. I mean, we debuted in Staples Center. I think whatever we did here, and then they wanted to.
That's a good story, yeah.
They wanted to see us work, and they put us on main event. Within a month of our debut in 2016, and we wrestled Broski, it's Zack Ryder and Fandango. And if in their song or their reactions or their careers might have gone different routes, whatever. But in 2016, if you go back to that time, those were truthfully two over names and two over reactions.
And when
So-
the song hit, the people popped, whether they were being pushed or not, because the characters were over.
Like, dude, I was in the middle of the ring, and remember I was 8 years in Japan, so I'm not even used to. I'm just trying to get used to this whole fucking thing I'm in. And Broski's music hits, and it gets a massive reaction because he's over as hell, you know. And then Dango's music, who they pushed Dango as a massive star for a while, right? Like right out the gate, and then especially around that time. So I'm in WWE for the first time, seeing these two guys come down to the ring, and we're about to beat the shit out of them because the creative was us just wax them. And that's how they had such a chance with him, and he was so over, man. And he's such a good worker too. And during that match, like, something got messed up with the time, and I go, it was me and Dango in there, and I go, oh shit, we've only got, for example, I said something like, shit, they just said 1.5 minutes. He said, I got you, baby. He whispered that to me, and I went, "Oh, all right, good." Like, because I'm just trying to
totally comfortable in that environment.
It made me feel comfortable because then, and I ended up learning that to where I can, I feel really comfortable now in front of that in that television setting now. But in Japan, there was no referee telling you how much time or any time. Yeah, none of that. You do zero of that in Japan.
Amazing. Perception is reality, right? And we've talked about this privately, about on the air. It's like there are some guys, because the way they're packaged and the way they're presented, people don't realize how good they are. It's just, and I'm sure there's a million examples you guys have come across over the years. It's like, man, that guy's so good. People don't know because he's doing this gimmick or he's got this role or so on and so forth. Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword as well, though, Joe or Joel Hulbert, because we were having this conversation about a guy, just a week or two ago. But I remember when I was getting ready to try to get into the business as a teenager, and you would read all the stuff, and there were way less backstage reports and stuff like that, but everybody in the whole world, in that, at least the WWE nucleus, from like Jim Ross to the trainers to the guys getting stuff to the sheets, were like, this Nick Dinsmore is the best worker in the whole system. He's going to be the next Bret Hart. And then he comes on TV and he's Eugene. And that's what it is. And Eugene was over for his moment in time. And then when that moment was over, it was fucking over. Yeah. So, it's interesting how that stuff can play out and how those characters can sometimes be a necessity. But if there's no plan to come out of them, it's hard to get out of them.
Dude, and that's why you can't fault, like, when I'm not even going to use any examples. But for example, like, I don't know anybody. But if Hunter or Vince or whoever's in charge is saying things, and then I'm telling you, the agents or whoever's in those meetings aren't going to speak up against what they're saying. So
they won't speak for the talent ever. They speak on behalf of the office because they need to keep a job, because they're not drawing a dollar. They have to have a reason for their existence. That's true.
Yeah, so they just keep the same perspective going, and it's really hard to bust through the ceiling. And I know it sounds like a fixed mindset, and you're using excuses, and I mean, certainly, but sometimes this isn't. This is acting, man, and you're trying to weasel your way through these this legitimate political fucking ski slope that is sometimes.
I mean, let's be honest. There's so many weird things that come out of that too, because it is acting in a way, it's fictional all the way. Yeah. But like I've said this before, I think on your show, but I've heard the same thing before. Like I've heard in that era when I was young and getting ready to do the same character, an upper level guy go, I'm not fucking putting him over. He's whatever you would say to whatever word people use for that gimmick that they shouldn't have been using, derogatory. Yeah. But it was the same thing when Vince said Carl wasn't very good because he loses every week. He's one of the best workers on the whole show. If top 3. He loses every week because you write down that he's the guy who gets pinned. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, and do you notice how like Meltzer or somebody will report like this match was really good, and guess who agented the match, right? And then
who do you think reports that?
That's what I'm saying. But then like when a match is really bad, just say like when me and Andrade on Speed, right? They're like, oh, Carl's being lazy, but they don't go out. But do they think I went against all of the agent's instructions?
Who told Carl everything to do that?
Like everyone knows me. I'm such a rebel. I don't listen to what my directions are told, and I do anything I want to do. Like, what about the agent that agented that match? Why doesn't he get? I'm just saying, like, it's everything. Everything can be so
Probably 'cause you
skewed.
didn't give a
Now
shit.
we're getting off on a tangent that's flipping around, but
Well, that's an especially ridiculous one because that match was like a minute, wasn't it?
well, it's like a minute, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
it
but they
is.
said he didn't want to do longer or something. It's just ridiculous. Like,
But
It,
people
it only could be 3 minutes. I mean, fuck.
well,
yeah,
you know,
because it's up to him how long his speed match is.
Speed on X.
but then somebody
Carl,
might.
you're on speed. You want 2 minutes and 30 seconds
Yeah.
or 47 seconds. Whatever you say, we're doing.
But then, like, and I'm just being honest. I've watched this stuff happen. Just say, like, the agent. I don't know anything, but just say the agent of that match. You know, say Hunter turned his eyes, and I'm just using this as an example. Say Hunter looked at the TV and saw the match, right? And just saw it for a second and went, "The fuck?" And then the agent maybe feels like he might get in trouble there for a second and goes, "Yeah, fuck, they were being really difficult." And no one ever hears that. I need people to understand. That I'm not saying that happened during
On
that.
Christmas.
I'm just
Yep.
that kind
Merry
of
Christmas,
stuff,
by the way.
that kind of stuff on Christmas Eve. It happens.
Yeah. So if you do that if you're an agent and you do that, you might have coal in your stocking, motherfucker.
Yeah, you're not going to get. You're
Very
not going
good.
to be able to have a Christmas. You're not going to have a very Christmassy Christmas. You know what I mean?
Greetings, Grinners. It is I, the great Kris Bordine, and I'm wishing everyone in the Late Night Grin universe a very safe, happy and healthy Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I've had a lot of fun in 2025 on the Grin. It was my second year as part of the LNG roster, my first full year on the LNG roster. Some of my favorite moments include the entrance theme bracket and the Survivor Series draft I was able to do over on Gold, on Productions, actually. Sorry, not Gold. But yeah, so I'm just, again, everyone have a happy, healthy Christmas, New Year, whatever, and we'll see you in 2026 for a lot more fun. See ya.
All right, fellas. Another Grin Grappler year in the books. And what a year it was. I was just reflecting here. We started with Shane McMahon. We moved on to Flair vs. Steamboat. We did Booker T, Paul London, The Rock, Sabu, Shelton Benjamin, The Dudleys, Yoshihiro Tajiri, Yokozuna, JBL, and as we're recording this, we just got done with The Sandman, spending our holidays with Hack. Bobby, I'm intrigued. What was your highlight for 2025, and do you have a message for the Grinners here on our holiday special?
Yeah, I think my highlight for 2025, just first of all, like big picture with Grin Grappler, I think we finally figured out a really good formula where it's not necessarily as much about the matches anymore. We kind of just talk about the guy at large, and I think that's really been cool. Personally, I think my favorite one was the Shelton Benjamin one because, you know, when you're the high man on a guy and, you know, we've all been that and we've all had guys that we've covered, and it's just really cool when it's just 3 hours of talking about the guy that you like and you've always liked and everyone else is kind of coming around on him. Yeah. As far as the Christmas message, you know, just keep it simple. Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy holidays. Thanks for all the support and be safe out there.
Personal highlight for me, just getting deep in the weeds with the Dudleys. I just looked 3 hours and 19 minutes for that one. Choices were made, but we had a great time. Oral commentary, what would be your highlight, mate?
Well, you know, I liked a lot of them. I liked that Bobby mentioned we had so much variety. I really enjoyed the Flair Steamboat one because I thought it was a cool idea that we were able to grab a legendary rivalry and do one like that. I hope we do more like that in the future. But, and this could be recency bias, but I really did like the Sandman one, and I like that we continue to do a yearly tradition in December of kind of a special Grin Grappler episode, and this year's was Hacks, and it was a blast to do that. Happy holidays, everyone. Enjoy your Christmas and your holidays and whatnot. Take care of yourselves. Stay out of trouble. See you all in 2026, and more importantly, 1/15/26.
Excellent point. Excellent point. Alex, ain't no prizes for guessing your highlight of Grin Grappler's 2020. I think it was right out the gate, but anything to elaborate on and any message for the Grinners?
Of course, you know, the narrative continues on. The greatest big match wrestler in the history of wrestling, Shane McMahon, and I think the views reflected that. Yeah, when you were going down that list, we covered a lot of ground, and I forgot we almost went a full 4 hours on Dwayne. You know, we almost went the full like WrestleMania 36 on that. But anyway, 35, excuse me. I also, because I remember saying Sabu passing, like, it didn't like affect me, but I was surprised by like how much it like bummed me out, and getting to put that episode together. And I think the things we talked about in that episode, and like that was probably my favorite one that we did, just from a perspective. But Oracle's right too. That Sandman one was a fucking blast. But anyway, message to the Grinners. In the year of 2025, I was at 3 different points in 3 different states. I was approached by people to tell me that they enjoyed what we do here on this platform. And it's a strangely humbling thing in that, you know, I've met you guys specifically through wrestling, and I think we've proved that we would just do this just to pop ourselves if there was no audience out there. But there is an audience for us, and that is fucking awesome. And it's something that I don't take for granted, and I appreciate. And so the idea that, as small of a gesture as it may be, I could wish you guys out there a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, whatever you do. I hope it is the best it can be. Spend time with your family, friends, have some, I don't know, pumpkin pie. No, it's more Thanksgiving. What's a good hot cocoa? I don't know, marshmallows, some shit.
Eggnog.
There you go. Thank you. But I look forward to doing the Grin Grappler with the 3 of you every month, and I look forward to what 2026 brings, but more so the community and like the fan base of the Late Night Grin is pretty fucking cool. And you know, it's a cool thing. I'm thankful for it, and thankful for you guys, and Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas to all y'all.
What a ride it's been. March 2022, the first Grin Grappler. No end in sight. I think, you know, we've all said this, talked about it. It's like, this is a show that I think we can do for as long as we want to do it, which I don't see any reason why that would change, right? This is always something we can go back to.
I mean,
it's been there throughout every
Grin
year.
Grappler thing ever is Paul London and The Rock back to back. So yeah. We can do this forever.
Right, exactly, because it's not about the biggest names. Just it's a grappler. Let's do a show about them. That's always what it's been. So we can keep going, and it's been an awesome ride thus far. And of course, this is where we all knew it would end up, as the bridge between segments of a Good Brothers holiday special. Only natural, only fitting, and hell of a time. Here's to another year of Grin Grappler glory, triumph, and success. I wonder if we see any more, you know, agreements like that Alexa Shane 1-2 punch that we had earlier. We'll have to figure that out as the year unfolds. But anything can happen in 2026. Anything can happen in the Late Night Grin. And with that, back to the Good Brothers.
Joe Hulbert, what is your favorite ever? Because I know that you love a great match. What is your favorite Santa Claus match that Vince McMahon ever booked?
I actually have an answer for this. I have an answer for this, a clear answer. Okay. I think the Tajiri Claus thing is like Tajiri one of the 5 legitimately funny WWE TV offerings. And he works Bubba, and they both have the big, and you know, Bubba's doing the ho 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 and so on and so forth. It's
I forgot that one. That's actually, I wouldn't look up a Santa Claus match, but that's look upable.
Yeah, and you have the skits right where Austin is sitting on like Tajiri's lap with the. That stuff's fun.
Stone Cold Santa was pretty good too, just beating the shit out of everybody.
Was that a thing where you get to TV on the? Because we're going to close here with some Christmas memories. But before we do that, would you get to TV on the holidays and go, "Oh God, I hope I'm not in the Santa match"?
I did every one of them. I did a fucking Santa Claus match. I did a Santa Claus match with Deuce from Deuce and Domino.
Whew.
And they brought us both fat suits. And he went and hid and cut the fat suit out of his, and then went and had the seamstress cut the sleeves out and make his muscles look bigger. And me, who was already fat, put the fat suit on. And I got to Gorilla, and I wanted to fucking fight him. And then we got in the ring, and he was being difficult Deuce. And there's one point in the match, my son still likes to pull it up, where I get him in a right arm to headlock, and I just start hockey punching the shit out of him because it was going so terribly. And JBL's on commentary just laughing because he knows we're just fighting each other at this point. I got this fucking fat suit on. Oh my God. And I remember I didn't know what to do. And I'm young and I'm Festus, and they're making me dress up in a fat suit. And Michael Hayes walked by, and I go, "Hey, Michael." And Myers loves to repeat this. "Oh yeah, bro. Oh yeah." When Drew asked Hayes what to do in the Santa Claus match, bro, it's classic.
Have a fun little Santa Claus match.
I go, "Hey, Michael, what do you want out of this match?" He goes, "Just have a nice, fun little Santa Claus match."
What does that
kind
mean?
of direction is a nice fun little
Headlock takeovers?
Is there a manual and a nice fun little Santa Claus match? I just remember after Bradshaw goes, "Oh, I loved it. That was the best Santa Claus match we've had in years." And I go, "God damn it."
That's tremendous.
One time in Japan, we were on the road in Japan, probably 2012 or 13. I had to be out there for Christmas. I believe I just had my second son, so this would have been 2011.
Yes.
Me, Rocky, and Yuji Nagata walked, and we found a little Japanese bar restaurant open at after the show, like 11:30 or 12. And we walked in, and they were excited to see like some foreigners, and then they recognized Yuji Nagata, and we sat there and we drank and ate in this
Christmas miracle.
in this snowy city in north of Japan, and they started putting on Christmas carols, and we were singing Christmas carols. Me, Nagata, and Rocky Romero, and it was one of my fondest memories of being far away from my family.
I don't know that one. That's a great one. But you know what? It also reminds me of, you brought up Daniels and Kazarian coming over for that tag league, and you can't call it your favorite because your favorites are with your family, but a Thanksgiving I'll never forget was that tag league. Machine Gun, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Big LG, partying in a Mexican restaurant, having tacos and beer because we're the only ones celebrating American Thanksgiving, and that's how we celebrated it. In a Mexican restaurant in Japan, we had Thanksgiving, and it was really fun.
So I have the match here that so it was Christmas Day 2011. They run a show. I have it here because I prepared some notes for this segment.
Oh, good.
So,
Here we go.
Ten Cozy and Goto versus yourself, Bernard, and King Fale was the match on Christmas Day.
Okay.
I looked around. So obviously, Wrestling Day used to be a huge day for Christmas Day. Used to be a huge day for pro wrestling, right?
Yes.
And in the last 20 years, less so. But one thing I kind of wanted to know was through the years, the stuff you did surrounding that. So obviously, in the New Japan years, the tag league would be that'd be the wrap of your year, and then you'd go home, come back for the Dome show, right? It would generally be how it would work. However, as we know, our beloved Big LG was Festus.
Yes.
And so I wanted to look at some of the holiday tour fiascos.
Buddy, I worked about every one of them during those years.
So 2007, it was yourself and Jesse and Miz and Morrison, which is fine. But this next match popped me. It was taped on December 20th, but aired on Christmas Day, 2009 SmackDown.
Okay.
Finley, John Morrison, Matt Hardy, and R-Truth versus Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, CM Punk, and the Big LG.
Wow.
That's a hell of a match.
What a mass of main event in the world, isn't it? My God.
That's a main event anywhere in the world with somebody in there. Oh, my goodness. Dude, I wish I remembered that one, but I really don't. That was 2009?
Yes. Yep.
So that was the beginning of Straight Edge. So yeah, I don't have
That's cool.
a lot of memories of that one. That's funny.
A quirky one, not close. You did, and this is a project. One day we'll do a deep dive on this, but not today. But Ring Ka-King.
Oh yeah,
is a fascinating project and operation that is really undercovered in wrestling. From what I could see, you did stuff up until like December 21st in 2011 in India doing. Was that a weird Christmas coming home from India after doing a fucking TV tour, TV tapings?
No, it wasn't, man. Like, I loved those India trips because it was something so different. And at that point, like, I'd already done a lot of shit in the business. And, like, Dutch Mantel called me and goes, yeah, they want to bring you into TNA, but before that, they're doing this deal in fucking India. And I think it was like a test because I later find out, like, I do so many things in my career that Isaiah Cash, this biker who's basically patterned, he's the American Badass Undertaker.
Yeah.
The role was designed and made for Bully Ray. Then he goes, I don't want to fucking be in India over the holidays. F you guys. Big LG's out of a job. He's cheaper. He looks like a biker. Bring him in. So I was really like, I didn't know that. And then when they played my Tron the first time and I saw Bubba, I go, excuse me.
That would pay off big with the Aces and Eights link up eventually.
It was a precursor to the Aces and Eights. But yeah, that was one of those deals where they were like, I always remembered Hayes again in my head since my childhood. Don't ever say no. If they ask you, you can do something. If you will to do something, say yes. And Dutch goes, "You're a biker, right?" I go, "Yep."
Yep.
He goes, "You got a Harley?" I go, "Mm-hmm." He goes, "Yeah, so it'll be no problem for you to ride the bike to the ring." I go, "No problem."
Yep.
Maybe
And
I'm
I
off
immediately
base.
I started seeing the advertising come out for Ring Ka King, and I saw Chavo was on there, and he was like my only buddy, and I knew he had a Harley. So I call him. I go, "Hey, I just lied to Dutch Mantel and said I know how to ride a fucking Harley." I go, "What do I do?" He's like, "Don't worry, bro. If you can figure out a way to practice around your house, do it. But when you get there, you and I'll take your bike, and I'll give you some quick lessons. You'll be great." I said,
What a
"Thanks,
brother.
man."
What
Thanks,
a brother.
man. We get to the arena at like 2:00 in the afternoon. I go, "Where's the bike?" They pull this rental bike off the thing. The guy goes, "Please, whatever you do, be careful with it." Chad was like whispering to me. He's like, "Just pull it out there into the street and go down the street and come around the building." I go, "Yeah, no problem." I dump the clutch. I run right into a parked car and drop the fucking bike on the ground. The guy's going, "Ah, Mom!"
Please be careful.
Just an immediate wreck right in front of him. And that's why Isaiah Cash walked the Harley down the ramp and didn't ride it like that.
That's incredible. Again, that's a deep dive for another, because that is one of the strangest things that no one talks about. How the Steiner clips, holy shit!
Steiner was great over there. He would get mad at him in real life too, and he would get pissed off about his breakfast. So he would just yoke the guy out of the kitchen and go in and make everybody omelets in the morning. So you just stand there and wait for him. "You want chicken in it?" "Yes, sir."
So, outside of that 2011 Machine Gun, you generally would have been home for Christmas. That was an outlier, I think, right? For Christmas.
Yeah. Generally, I was home for Christmas, but they said they needed us for Corkin Christmas Eve. I think 23 and 24. We were leading up to the Tokyo Dome with 10 Cozy, and I think Baldo was leaving for WWE after the Dome.
Yeah.
And they wanted us to have singles matches in Cork. And so I had a singles match with Kojima one night. Baldo had one with Tenzan, and we vice versa the next night. And so they asked me to spend Christmas there. It was I look back on it, it's fine, but it felt a little like that. There was every time you leave for Japan, there's a pit in your stomach, dude. And like, it was a pit in my stomach when I heard that. I was like, oh man, it kind of sucks because you don't get to be. I wasn't home much at all, dude. That's why, because I would be home. I'd be on the road there for 6 weeks and then come home for 10 days, and so in half of that time you're jet lagged. So when you're not home much for 8 years and you don't get to see your kids much, it's a weird mind fuck.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
We had one of our biggest mind fucks together was a Christmas day. They flew us to Chicago, and we could tell that we had a little heat. We were the only 2 unbooked talents flown in. Everybody worked Monday Night Raw except for Gallows and Anderson, and we were like, and you wonder why we act. You wonder why we acted the way we did when we got fired.
That was my next question.
It was stuff like that because we were. I mean, that was to the point where Mark Carano came over to us and was like, "I'm really sorry, guys. Here's some tickets for the bar. Enjoy yourselves." And I was like, "You guys aren't sorry, because obviously you did this to us on purpose." I flew my son. My little son was there with us just because it was the only way I could have Christmas with him. We had it in a Chicago area. So,
am I right in saying that? Because I remember that Raw. I remember when they announced that the talent, there was some public pushback from talent. It must have been that way internally, right? Where people just like, "What the? It's Raw. We can take Raw." Right.
Well, then we got there, and then it was like, "Well, who ribbed you guys? Ha ha ha!" I'm like, "Man, that's a fucking shitty rib." Yeah. We're the only guys not used, and we're here on Christmas. Like, they know he has all these kids at home. My son's standing here with me, disheveled, with his hair uncombed because he had to get up at 2:00 in the morning and fly here.
And then, but you look back at it and it's like, you're doing what you want, what you love. You're getting paid to do it. Just go do it. Right. And that's where I think people, it is what it is. I think that just was a little shot at us, but whatever it was, because we had to go on the road the next week anyway, we had for the whole entire week of Christmas week. And they ended up putting us with Finn Balor that very next Monday. So it actually weirdly turned into something,
It was it's one of those things though where it's kind of bittersweet because my son Cade and I will always remember that Christmas because it was so out of the box and we spent it in that hotel. So it's not like a bad memory for him. I mean, you can look at it that way, but interesting anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry I brought up now. So I looked through your guys' holiday tours together. We'll quickly run through this here as we wind down on this Christmas Eve occasion.
Eve
in 2016. I believe you did. So it was like 3 ways with the New Day and the Bar, which I'm sure you guys did a lot of those, right? That's probably something. Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of those.
Worldwide, yes.
This is one that's weird, and it's not doubting you guys, but this feels like it'd be a lot for you guys to remember this holiday tour quirk. So, in 2018, which obviously just a great Good Brothers WWE year, just at the
hell of a year for the boys.
I know where you're going.
I know exactly where you're going.
Oh, this is tremendous. So, it seems, according to our records here, that you guys on 3 consecutive towns worked double duty on the house shows for the holiday tour, and I have here. It was a trios with Shelton, over Aiden English and the Colognes, which incredible, and then a win over Sanity. And I believe you kicked off every show with a double dose of the Good Brothers. What the fuck was that about?
That's all I'm saying is that there was even a time where they wanted me
a real utility man.
I mean, me and Finn Balor were doing 15-minute singles matches. I mean, it's like they couldn't find anybody else in the world to have. But I'm so worthless. They couldn't wait to fire me twice.
One of the saddest but funniest stories in Good Brother history, which has been covered, is we're in fucking Madison Square Garden. It's Finn Balor versus the Machine Gun Carl Anderson, which, okay, in Japan, huge deal.
Yeah.
In New York City's Madison Square Garden, huge deal.
Huge deal.
Maybe it wouldn't be in Monroe, Alabama, where there's not smart fans, but we're in the smartest market in the United States, and we have a singles match, and all of the Garden. I'm the man on the floor. I'm the heater, so I'm just I'm going to enjoy this and catch a dive. This is awesome, and the entire Garden is chanting Bullet Club, Machine Gun, Finn Balor. It's electric. But the guys who opened up went 10 minutes over, so they go, can you get this done in about 3 minutes?
Oh, man.
And that is what was given to Madison Square Garden for Bullet Club versus Bullet Club, and they were fiending for it. And it's not a complaint. It's just the way that it goes. But it's like, if I were a fan in New York, I would have went, damn, man.
You know, there was
Cruiserweights didn't need all 41 minutes of that opener, did they?
There was one Christmas tour. It might have been 19, but the Christmas where they just had us singing with Elias.
And then Kane double choke slams us at the end.
Stuff.
Because somebody's got to take the double choke slam. Send out the boys. Jingle bells, Kane smells. Goozle.
So just to be clear, you guys have no idea why this. What was this? Just what they wanted to do. They wanted you guys to work 2 matches.
I just think that I honestly think that's why I believe that we're needed. I just think that there's guys like us that you got to have in there that can do 2 matches in a row.
They would just be like, well, you can plug the Good Brothers in there. It's like when they sent us to Mexico and we weren't really doing anything, and I go, what are we doing in Mexico? They go, oh, it's you guys versus Rey Mysterio and Cain Velasquez in the main event. And I'm going, well, why is that the main event? And then I quickly realized because they knew I would allow Cain Velasquez to kick me in the fucking head, which he did. And now he's in jail for murder, which I don't think he did it, but I'm just saying, my unprotected head knocked clean out.
Just plug us anywhere, baby.
Feed back up so you can take another kick. No, I'm good. I'm already knocked out.
You can plug the boys anywhere.
This actually is an important update. As a broadcast journalist, you often accuse me of that. When we did Talking Shop, we did Late Night Grin. I'm stealing your brand now. We did the Late Night Grin live. We talked about this Cain Velasquez match, and I said to you guys, it was Humberto Carrillo in this match, and you said, flag on the play, it was not. I have terrible news, fellas. There's video of this. Ray was not in this match. He was supposed to be. I think he got hurt.
We tagged with Ray. We must have done 2 of them then, because I know Ray was in one of them. Because the reason I know is because I was supposed to feed back up and take a 619, but I was so cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs that I
maybe you just think you were.
I'm telling you, there were 2 matches. We had Ray in one of them.
Yeah, I just don't know where it was, but
I mean, obviously you worked Ray a lot with the Punk stuff. You must have crossed paths with Ray, right?
But Carl and I wrestled Ray too. I know that we did.
We were somewhere with Ray, but I'm with you. It probably wasn't Humberto because they were giving Humberto a shove, who's still there, receiving money. So good to him. Congratulations to him.
I wrestled Ray in Mexico City because Punk hurt his arm and couldn't work, and I was like,
"Holy shit!"
And it was they're like, "Well, Gallows will do it," and I'm like, "Oh, here we go." Rey Mysterio
Listen,
and Arena Mexico sold out. Let's do this, baby. That was
Humberto's still collecting a nice check, man. Congratulations to Humberto, man.
God bless.
Anything else you want to say on Humberto?
Yeah, I think we'll probably leave it there.
Congratulations.
The reason I think the reason the Mexico City match changed, whoever Bray was working got pulled from the show, and Ray then stepped in to face the Fiend, I believe, is what happened. That was they worked. It looked like they had a cage match that night.
I'm glad we have
regardless,
broadcast.
I got my brain scrambled. So.
That's what I'm saying. You're innocent here. I just had to, I had to do a follow
This
up
is
on
the second
matter.
time you've brought up my scrambled brains for
I'm
your
sorry.
Late Night Grin viewers.
Yeah.
Brewers. See, that's what happens.
Brewers. Tonight they may be Brewers, yeah. Last couple here, Street Profits and the Raiders was a freeway. They love these fucking freeways.
They love a good multi-man match.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in 2023, your final holiday tour with WWE, you did like a bunch of stuff with Pretty Deadly. And that just seems like something that's like the easiest shit for you guys to do.
It was
it's
right up our alley.
Yeah, just 80s pro wrestling. Let's go, right?
Yes. Please.
Yeah, and I think they enjoyed working us too, and they were fun. They were definitely fun. I don't know if I don't think WWE's doing anything with them now, and I mean they're great, right?
They're talented. I had heard that they were making they were going to push the one kid as a singles, but I don't know if the other one got hurt or if I just
one of them's hurt. Yeah, one of them's hurt. They've put a new gimmick on the other one, which is but nonetheless, not on Christmas. We won't discuss that.
Long Christmas.
Such a matter.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, they like Christmas. They're good. They're good Christmas guys too.
We like those guys.
Good Christmas guys, right?
Merry Christmas. You got some good heated this debate, good heated talk. You got some cheerful Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
What are you guys in the pro wrestling world? What are you guys looking for under your Christmas tree? Is there something you look at 2026? You're like, that's what I would like to.
I hope that I unwrap a nice Santa Claus figure circa 1995.
They make a lot of quirky stuff. Have you seen? I know you're not a figure guy anymore, right? Unless I'm
I was though.
Yes. The stuff they make now is the most like niche. The craziest one was they did Goldie as the what was the gimmick Goldie did in the WWF?
He was the
executioner.
When he comes back, the executioner.
Yeah. They made an executioner figure, like 3-week run.
I told my son Kate. I said, "This is how we'll know for sure if Festus is canceled."
Yeah,
because they're getting so niche in the action figure world, they're running out of stuff to make. Yes. So, like at some point,
because he gets a lot of questions about Festus, dude. Like to the point where like it's a serious thing. I mean, we got to get some kind of figure or something for people because they're always asking.
Like maybe we should have some merch or something, but you never see any mention of it ever. WWE-wise. Even when we were back and not all the way in whatever graces we're in now. But I do truly believe he's been. You got to put him over here. He's not.
I think him and Eugene are both out.
Yeah, I think they're unfortunately on the same bus on this one.
Fellas, any closing messages for the Grinners here on Christmas Eve? Whenever they're watching this, do you have any message for everyone watching? We'll start with yourself, Machine Gun. Go for it, mate.
Well, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. If you're Good Brother fans. Just keep an eye out. Like we're booked all the way until May, and people are asking about stuff after May. And I said, dude, you gotta wait a second because we might be back with WWE or something at that point. And you just never know.
Saying that even on Christmas.
Yeah, just give me a second here. We're crying out loud, but we're blessed to be as busy as we are. Keep an eye out, but just keep showing support to the boys. Keep showing support to Late Night Grin. Especially as we morph into having our own serious radio. I think Talking Shop, me, Gallows, Joe Hulbert, the Late Night Grin team. I mean, it's all gonna work into something where you can enjoy our debates like daily, nightly. I mean, this is something that we're all passionate about, and we can sit here and talk about it with real, true expertise, for crying out loud. Joel has been a fan his whole life. He watches it, constantly. Gallows and I have both, we've been to the top of the mountain. You can't find somebody better. You can't find people better that can enjoy watching professional wrestling and talking about it. And just keep watching what we're going to do. There's so much shit inside the tank, baby. Happy holidays.
There is a genuine appetite for like actual wrestling talk that isn't drenched in some kind of like agenda or
Yes.
You know what
Just
they
focus on
should have done
wrestling.
it. You know what they should have done tonight on the Late Night Grin is
Yeah.
discuss their feelings emotionally about the finish to John Cena's retirement match. Was he smirking, and what does it mean in the world of poetry? Because to
Yeah.
me, John
Enough
Cena
of the fantasy
smiled.
booking.
John Cena smiled because he knew that the workload was finally off of him, and that's why a man who never gave up gave up, and that's what's poetic about it. Fuck me with a stick. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Please keep listening to the Late Night Grin, talking shop, eat some Christmas cookies. If you're a dad, put a little something in them. I don't mind. Santa Claus loves that. He's coming to town.
A little
Get under
CBD
the
oil.
Get under the mistletoe with your partner of any choice tomorrow. Have a grand old time. Enjoy the kids. Pull up
Yeah.
some G&A matches, some far, far away holiday tours you're not supposed to see, and enjoy yourself. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Thank you, sweet Joe.
Beautiful. Beautiful stuff.
If John Cena was going to smile when Gunther was choking him.
Well, folks, that concludes our 2025 holiday special. And with that, for LNG Productions anyway, our 2025 in general, we have a few streams ahead of us still. I'll get watching World's End and some other happenings on Gold, but for the most part, this is it. And you've heard from the lads throughout the night of highlights from the charity streams, the Tokyo tapes, different Grinalongs, and all that good stuff. I don't need to repeat any of that. I think it goes without saying that I co-sign every single word in terms of the many highlights of our year. And the main thing I want to say is thank you. This time of year, as I say often, because it's the truth, can be a triumphant time, can be a glorious time, can be a celebratory time, but it can equally be a very challenging time. And if, for you, this year is the latter, for whatever reason that is, I hope we've been able to help with our absurd onslaught of programming, and this, obviously, being a particularly special one. Cool, hang out with the guys for a little bit and put this out on Christmas Eve. So, beyond anything else, we hope you are well. We hope you have a wonderful Christmas, holidays, whatever it is you're celebrating. If you're celebrating at all, we hope you are well and you're excited for 2026. And even if you're not, just know there's nothing wrong with that. Things will get better. Please hang in there. And at the very least, you know that you have us arseholes doing these stupid shows to keep you entertained in the meantime. That's the best we can do, and we'll continue to do that. But I want to thank you all for the continued support. 2025 was the biggest year in Late Night Grin history by a comical distance. We are very, very lucky to have some great experiences and do some really big things. And all of that is because of you guys, as the good brothers often taught me about. I will always say, we have a very small base, but a very loud one. And you guys are you know, the reason for that. So thank you for making us somewhat of a factor and convincing people that we matter slightly. We don't. But because of you guys, we're able to fool people just enough. So with that in mind, hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas, New Year's, all that good stuff. We'll see you soon on this channel and even sooner on the other channel before even the end of the year for that matter. So thank you again. Stay safe. Keep grinning. All how. Enjoy this outro. Goodbye. Thanks for watching, folks. Please like the video and subscribe for more grins. To join us live almost daily, head to Late Night Grin, hitting the join button for exclusive watch-alongs, wrestling history lessons, and live Q&As. Keep grinning, folks. All how.